My name is Karen Smith. I'm an analytically oriented psychotherapist, and this is my video blog, Go to Therapy. One of the primary goals of an analytically oriented psychotherapy is to help a client gain better access and better communication with their unconscious. Throughout the day, as we move about our day and engage the world and engage in conversations with friends and take in experiences and perceptions from around us, our conscious mind responds with thoughts and feelings. So does our unconscious self. In fact, it does so with significantly less filters and with a better eye towards the things that really matter to us in our raw, core selves. Our unconscious works fairly hard to communicate to us what it understands to be our struggles, but it does so in a coded, symbolic way that allows us to ignore it or reject it if there are reasons that that truth is too difficult for us to face or tolerate. An example of its efforts in communication are our dreams. Now, a lot of people think that dreams are just nonsensical, random images and experiences pulled from the day. If you've ever had an opportunity, though, to have one of your dreams unpacked in an analytic way, it's pretty hard to reject dreams as simply a mishmash of images rather than a layered offering of symbolic truths about your life and some of your core struggles. And dreams are only one way that the unconscious attempts to communicate with your conscious self. You've probably heard of things like free association, which used to be a technique and perhaps still is in some analytic circles for drawing out information for clients, where you offer a word and the client responds with the word that first comes to their mind. Another example would be the Freudian slip. This is where you mean to say one thing and then you end up saying your mother. But actually, what appear to be random associations happen all day long. For instance, let's say that you're in a session or talking with a friend about your ex, and suddenly it comes to your mind that you need to pick up a few things when you get home, on your way home. In particular, some shampoo, some dishwashing detergent, and some nail polish remover. Now, if the therapist suddenly notices a slight shift in your energy and says, "Can you say what was happening for you just then?" you might say, "I was just distracted." And both of you might muse on why you might need a piece of distraction from talking about your ex. And for some people, that's as far as it's going to go. But if you're really to do an analytic analysis, you need to share with your therapist what exactly you used to distract you, because that's the relevant data to give you real clues. You already know it's hard for you to talk about your ex, so the fact that you wanted a little distraction, like, big deal. But what you want to know is what you used to distract, because if you look at what you used a list, and a list is what we do when we're feeling somewhat disorganized, discombobulated, when we're trying to pull random pieces together. And so then you might speculate whether or not that fits with the description of how you feel when you talk about your ex: disorganized, discombobulated. And then you might note, if you want to go further with the look at this association, that all three of the things that you remembered needing to pick up are all cleaning supplies, and that you might speculate and wonder if talking about your ex makes you feel unclean or dirty. Now, some of you will refute this and say, "I was already thinking about picking up those things when I was on my way to therapy, and I didn't even know I was going to talk about my ex." And that could be totally true, but it's still relevant that that came up in that particular moment, because your unconscious has available to itself a million random associations from your day that it could have used in that moment if all you needed was a moment of distraction. But it chose specific things to distract you. One way to test out this theory of association, if you're not sure you really buy into the idea that everything that pops into our mind is somehow relevant and related, and an intentional communication from our unconscious is to start to listen better. For instance, if you find yourself in the kitchen suddenly singing some random song, listen to the lyrics to that song and wonder what you were thinking about right before you started singing the lyrics to that song. Sometimes we feel at a loss for what it is that keeps us so stuck in life. Our unconscious is the keeper of the most key relevant clues to what our struggle is. Start a dialogue with it.